Okay, welcome to Introduction to Astrology, and I'd like just to go right into it and say that what astrology is saying is that we are light, and we're electromagnetic light, we're light waves. All of creation, all the whole organic world is made up of this light and electromagnetic waves. But the light that we're going to be focusing on in astrology is there's light that you can see, which is this light right here, and there's light that you can't see because it's outside of their spectrum. It's outside of the ultraviolet and the infrared section on low. So the lower light is the lower bassier frequencies, low, slower frequencies. Then the faster moving light, the higher frequencies, is this ultraviolet on up. So we really can't see ultraviolets and infrareds. But our realm is this realm right here, which is the realm that we're going to be dealing with. We will deal with more outside the realm at some point, but right now we're just going to deal with this realm right here, inside of this area. We're going to try to get a little bit of that in there, this ultraviolet here, but for right now, this purpose here, we're just going to stay right here in this realm. And we're going to, say that's what we're, that's what we see. So that's what we're going to focus on. So it's this realm, and then what we have here is, let's say that's your consciousness, and what we're seeing is what you see as you look out into this light spectrum. You are made of this light, and everything that you're looking at is made of this light, and that's how we can look at how the light changes its characteristics and personalities in different phases of it. You can see here there's reds, you can see here there's blue, you can see here in the middle it's yellow, and here to the left it's green, and here to the right it's orange into red. And this is our spectrum. So here, this spectrum here, we're also going to add numerology to this and show how all creation has number equivalents and color equivalents and frequency and amplitude equivalents. So here is the realm we're dealing with, and we'll give that realm 0 is the number. And your consciousness that we're talking about here is this dot right there, and that's 1. Now the most important number in all of the organic world is the number 2, and that's because everything divides in 2s. It starts off 2, 4, 8, 16, and on. So let's go ahead. When a cell is starting out, to multiply itself, or a protein, it starts off, it divides into 2. So here, when a cell is dividing, everything starts from the middle, comes out to the edge, and then it moves out in both directions. So the wave, or the division, will start here. It raises up from its generation source, and then peaks out, and then comes down and goes into the wave, into the edge. At the same time, it goes down low beneath and back up. So this here is the 0 point of creation. It's the zero space, the creation, and this is the total matrix. In astrology, it's also the sun glyph, this circle and the dot. But now if you see, when you divide this in half, you get yin and yang, day and night, inside and outside, the mind, the physical world, black, white, female, male, night and day, things like that, those kinds of divisions. But that's two. So when this wave is set and this occurs, it now sends, emanates from the middle, and it comes out in this fashion, like that, branches out. The edges of the matrix send back the information to inform the consciousness, and you get this happening. So you can look at it that way, as this like number 8, this infinity thing. But if you come back to the circle like this and make a singular movement, it would look something like this. It'd come out, come back in, like the way you would draw an 8. See that? So this is the rhythm, the pattern of all organic life. It just keeps moving around like that. So what happens is, as the earth is turning and light, the different parts of the light are moving, you'll notice that the quality of the light changes. Like this is green and blue, this is orange to red. Closer to the middle, you get to that yellow point there that we're talking about. And so as this cell that we're talking about right now divides, it's now divided into two. Then it creates the next number, which is 3. It creates a sort of changing of frequencies that are pretty important, because that's the quality of what's changing. Go. And we have what we call a different 30-degree angle and a different quality to each of this light. So let's do that. Let's get those number 3s going. So we have the 1, that's the consciousness, the 2 with this area here, and then 3s. Everything has a process of 3, which is this first point here, petal, would be the generative process, or the cardinal process, the beginning. And then what's going to happen is it comes back, and the consciousness comes back to it makes another petal, comes out to the edge, comes back around, comes out to the edge, and then comes back around, and then that's 2, right? Now it's going to come back to the edge and come back around, and that's 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 here. So because it always increases out from the middle to the edges, electrically, and then magnetically, it's the middle is pulling in the energy. So it's that wave is continually going. So we have 4 sets of 3 that you'll see now, because now we're into the number 4, and what you'll see now is how the organic world still keeps moving on. 3 is a number of progression, but it also means that it's on its way. It's not in planning, it's in motion. Now we're coming to our 4, which is the number we're talking about now, and this 4 is going to show up like this. We do from the center, the petal comes out, the energy field. See the wave I'm making right now? There it is, and it comes over to this side, and it's just defining the edges, but it keeps coming to the middle, and then defines the edge, and it keeps coming to the middle, like that. When we have this as a flower-looking thing, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 points, so 12 30-degree angles, 12 zodiac signs, 12 hours in the day, 12 months in the year. But what this 12 does create too is still is the quadrants of 4, the 4 quadrants, excuse me, and I'll show you what that looks like. The first one creates the half quadrant, and then that's at splitting, and then when these two split, when you split the 2, these 2 split. So now we have 4, and let's put the 4 right here so you can see it. You have 4 parts of your life, 4 parts of the day, 4 parts of your year, 4 seasons. So let's put those seasons in there. You're going to have these. Well, let's do the directions first. So we can have a feeling of how all nature works. So when a flower is being created, puts out 2 petals, and then it'll put out 4, and then it'll put out 8, and then it'll put out 16, things like that. They move a kind of a spiral motion. Everything starts from the center and then spirals outward as it grows and moves, and you see this like figure 8 moving motion in all of nature if you had like speed lapse photography. Now here is the 4 directions, which is important because all of nature is kind of based on these 4 directions, and they're kind of here like this. This would be, I'm going to go ahead and blow up, and so I don't have to write so big. East, right, and then west, and then here we have the north position, and down here we have the south. And if you look at that, what you'll see here now is that we have the 4 directions, east, and everything kind of you always look to the east to create, and then the sun rises in the east. Your consciousness rises in the east. Things begin in the east, and then the sun comes up to 12 noon and comes over. So let's put that in there. Let's say here, and we'll give it another little color to distinguish it. We have 6 a.m. right? Over here we have 12, whoops, can you see that? That's good enough. p.m. And over here we have 6 p.m. And then over here we have 12 a.m. midnight. And remember, everything's always coming to the center. That's where you are. That's the 0 point. That's the place where you want to be, in the middle, in the calm center of things, of your life. You don't want to be too much in any direction. And there's our position. Let's try it out and see how this looks on video for you.